Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. I'm coming to you from Burbank, California. This is 909 Day, a huge event by Roland and Boss, where they're introducing more than 30 products. We've got producers here, engineers, musicians, all kinds of product demonstrations and performances. Really an incredible thing going on here. We're here in one of the 601 studios with Joe Wolfe, Tech to the Stars, composer. You've got a long history, incredible credits, touring and things, all kinds of great stuff going on. So you're kind of overseeing the tech for what's happening here at 909 Day.
Yes.
That's right. Now, how did you get started in that whole world? What brought you into the tech world?
Well, I started out as a keyboard player, programmer, and doing shows and tours, and I realized as I'm up on stage, I'm always looking up and saying, hey, what's that guy doing up there? You know, or turning my head around and checking out all the stuff the activities happening off stage. And I found that I was more comfortable off stage, backstage, than I was on stage. And I just had a knack for understanding how the show would come together, and led me into working as a backline technician for Whitney Houston. Also worked with a good friend who's not with us, Ricky Lawson, as his drum technician on the Phil Collins tour, Steely Dan tour, and Eric Clapton tour. From there, in other areas of backline, worked for a brief time as a guitar tech and keyboard tech for Ricky Lee Jones. But keyboards, programming, knob twisting is my specialty.
That's kind of your thing.
That's my thing.
Right.
So from there, I had a chance to tour with Earth, Wind & Fire as a keyboard tech and audio playback engineer. Alicia Keys, Prince,
Madonna.
Madonna, yes.
Right. Justin Timberlake.
Several tours, Justin Timberlake,
lots
Black
of
Eyed
great
Peas.
stuff. Yeah. And then also you've done some programming in the studio. You were mentioning, we were talking about your work with Lionel Richie.
Yes. I worked for Lionel Richie from about '99 through 2002 as an in-house programmer and writer. Worked on several projects with him. The Renaissance record, co-produced several songs with him.
Right.
I was involved in the production on a live album, Encore, with him.
Tons
what
of
else?
stuff.
Yeah,
Tons of
quite
stuff.
a few.
You've also been a producer. You've worked on albums as a producer.
Yes,
You composed some music as well.
Yes.
Got lots going on. So what kind of skill set do you have to work as a tech in the industry on that level?
You have to be able to think on your feet. If there's a problem, you have to have laser focus in finding the solution to solve the problem. Because on stage, in a tour setting, if something goes down with, say, a drum or a keyboard, you have less than 2 minutes or the length of the song to get that problem sorted before the next song or transition. So you have to be, able to just process quickly and not freak out.
Right.
Don't panic.
Be calm.
Exactly.
No matter what happens.
Exactly.
Right. Well, you missed mentioning the most important skill, which we were talking about earlier, and that's the ability to be invisible.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
You have to be able to do your job without drawing attention to yourself and without even being seen, really.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Whole skill set there.
Thank you for that save there.
So let me ask you, with an event like this, we're at 909 Day here at 601 Studios, and there's a big room here where we're expecting like 1,000 people, and there are 3 stages in there.
Yes.
And it ranges from having digital pianos to a DJ stage to a stage where bands are coming on and off.
Yes.
They've got different mixer stations set up and things. How do you go about setting a whole rig like that up and managing it all?
Having a good team. Yeah, having a good team is critical in that term. Everyone knows, has their assigned task, and they lock into that and get it done. But, everyone's, aware of, okay, what's going on over there. Even though you have focused on your area, just being aware, really. And that's with anything, whether you're in a studio situation recording, it's, on stage, the players, they have to watch and listen to each other. And so you have that symbiotic relationship, and the same thing goes on in the technical side of things as well. So,
right.
It's just
So what is your connection to Roland? How far do you go back with the company, and how did you make that connection?
Wow. My relationship with Roland goes back to the 80s.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, back to saving up and buying my first Juno 106, which was a freaking boatload of money back then.
Right.
You know, I think that's my first, yeah, anyway. Also, I worked music retail at a little mom and pop store in Los Angeles, with Culver City actually. And I met one of the Roland reps at that time, a guy named Chris Bristol, who had moved on through the years to, you know, yes, be one of the big heads.
Yeah, he was pretty much running the U.S. operation for many years.
Exactly, and we've been friends over the years, and just, I mean, they make great gear, man. So, I mean, everything's just, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and over the years, through various tours, I've been in situations. You know, I've placed lots of their gear on stage, and have been a part of purchasing. You know, for various. You know, over the course of my career, maybe a couple $100,000 worth of Roland gear. I mean, the stuff is so fantastic that, you know, yeah.
Right, you can always count on it.
Yeah.
It's going to do the job.
Absolutely.
Right. Speaking of gear and purchasing, you've been a Sweetwater customer for a long time.
Yes.
And in fact, we were talking earlier, we realized that we have a connection that goes back a number of years.
Yeah, you were my first contact at Sweetwater back in the around one of the early Whitney Houston tours back in the late 90s.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of you may not know that I was actually one of the early sales engineers at Sweetwater beginning back in 1992.
Yeah.
I left and came back later, but we realized that we worked together back then. It's so cool.
Yeah, I think I still have a couple emails from you, like from way back then. I don't delete the emails, so it's
vintage emails, right?
Yeah.
We really appreciate that. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, you guys are great, man. You guys have,
Thank you very much. Well, this is an incredible event that you're putting on here and that you're overseeing all that tech for. There's so much that happens in a big show like this, from the sound gear to all the keyboard gear to, in this case, we've got electronic drums, we've got electronic saxophone, we've got everything, vocalists, we've got lighting rigs and computers and things that are going on. So it's a massive job that you're handling. And I know we're keeping you away from that, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. We appreciate you sitting down with us.
I appreciate the opportunity to sit and talk with you, and hopefully I provide some insight to the new guy coming into the scene.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All right.
All great advice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'm Mitch Gallagher, coming to you from Burbank, California at 601 Studios at 909 Day with Roland and Boss. It's an incredible event. Thank you for joining me. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater.